Once upon a time, in a dusty African neighborhood, lived a 15-year-old girl named Aisha Salian. She was tall for her age, with deep brown skin like roasted groundnut and eyes that looked too old for a girl so young. Aisha had a strange gift: her dreams always came true. No matter how strange or scary, they always happened exactly as she saw them. She didn't ask for it. She didn't want it. But she was stuck with it, and it made her different. At first, the dreams were small. She saw a goat fall into a well, and the next day, it did. She saw a teacher sleeping and falling off a chair. It happened exactly that way. At first, she laughed them off. But as she grew older, the dreams became more frightening and harder to ignore. One night, she dreamt her neighbor's baby died in her sleep. The next morning, the baby was gone. It crushed Aisha's heart. She wept alone in silence. Another time, she saw a fire breaking out in the next compound. And it did, just like in her dream. Then she dreamt about a man being stabbed while walking to the mosque. The very next day, he was stabbed and rushed to the hospital. Aisha started to fear her own sleep. She dreaded the nights, afraid of what she would see, afraid that she couldn't stop it. She sat outside her house one evening and whispered, "Why do I only see pain? Why can't I dream good things like someone getting a new house or a car?" She wanted to help people, not scare them. She thought maybe if she warned them, she could save them. She tried it. She hoped that maybe, just maybe, people would listen and avoid the danger. So, Aisha started telling people when she had a bad dream about them. But instead of thanking her, they shouted prayers and cast her away. Some called her a witch. Others avoided her completely. Some even threw stones at her gate. And when her dreams came true, they didn't thank her, they blamed her for the tragedy, saying she caused it. One night, Aisha had a terrible dream. She saw her father, Malam Sul, lying in a pool of blood on Zaria Road. His phone was ringing, and her name flashed on the screen. A soft voice whispered, "He will die in 3 days. Tell him. Or regret it forever." Aisha woke up shaking, sweat covering her body. Her breath was short. She knew what it meant. Aisha woke up sweating and crying. She knocked on her father's door and begged him not to leave the house for 3 days. But he grew angry, slapped her hard, and called her cursed. He said she was bringing shame and fear into his home. Then he dragged her outside barefoot and threw her out of the house into the cold night. The next morning, people whispered about her. "That witch girl has been thrown out again," someone said. Only her younger brother, Hassan, came to her with bread and water. He told her she shouldn't have spoken, but she said, "I had to. What if he dies?" Her lips quivered. Her eyes were dry now. She had no more tears left. On the third day, Malam Sul ignored everyone's pleas. He said he wouldn't be controlled by a child's dream. He left the house like always, pretending to be bold. Aisha sat in silence, hoping she was wrong. But news soon broke: an accident on Zaria Road. A man was dead. It was her father. Her vision had come true again. Her mother, Zara, cried bitterly at the hospital. But when she saw Aisha, she asked, "Why didn't you keep quiet?" The words cut Aisha deeper than any slap. That same evening, her father was buried, and nobody sat beside Aisha at the funeral. She sat alone, beside the tree, ignored and broken. At night, neighbors talked. Children mocked her, calling her a witch. Even Hassan was kept away by their mother. Aisha sat under the mango tree and whispered, "Please, God, take this gift away. I don't want it anymore." Her spirit felt crushed. Her dreams, once strange, had become nightmares with real pain. Zara's brother, Uncle Idris, came from Kono. He said, "She cannot stay here. Let me take her to my church for deliverance." Aisha overheard this and ran away at night. She carried only her school bag, her Quran, Bible, and 500 naira Hassan had hidden for her. She didn't know where to go. She just knew she had to leave. She slept outside a shop. Her body cold. Her stomach empty. The next morning, her uncle saw her on the road. He picked her up and drove her to his house in Kono. There, she met his wife, Aunt Miriam, and 2 small children who stared at her quietly. They didn't speak to her, only watched. The next day, Uncle Idris took Aisha to a church to meet Pastor Chucks. He told the pastor that Aisha had bad dreams that came true. Pastor Chuck smiled and said he would deliver her. But he had other plans in mind. He saw opportunity, not a child who needed help. When they left, Pastor Chuck sat too close to Aisha. He smiled and whispered, "You are not cursed. You are gifted. Let us use your dreams to make money. I will give you 30% of all we earn." Aisha was shocked. She said, "No. That is wrong. I want to help people, not earn from pain." He slammed the table and said, "People only respect what they pay for." Then he softened his voice and told her to think about it. But Aisha had made her choice. That night, she escaped from the church and returned to her uncle's house quietly. She told no one what had happened. She lied and said the deliverance worked. Her uncle believed her and was happy. But that night, the dreams came back. She saw Aunt Miriam's shop on fire. She saw her aunt crying and getting hit by a car. Doctors said she would never walk again. It felt so real. Too real. A voice whispered, "Warn her. Stop the solar panel installation. In 2 days, she will be crippled forever if you stay silent." Aisha told her aunt everything the next morning. Aunt Miriam looked at her with fear but decided to listen. She cancelled the installation appointment and waited. 2 days later, another shop caught fire due to faulty wiring. The same installer was responsible. Aunt Miriam hugged Aisha tightly and said, "You saved me." For the first time, someone believed. For the first time, someone was thankful. Aisha felt something lift inside her. From that day, Aisha was seen as gifted, not cursed. Her aunt stood beside her and protected her. People still stared, but now some of them asked her quietly, "Did you dream anything about me?" She wasn't afraid to sleep anymore. She finally understood that her gift had purpose. Aisha still had dreams, but she no longer feared them. With someone who believed in her, she felt stronger. She had found her purpose. Her dreams were no longer a curse. They were her gift to protect others. She was no longer alone in the fight. Moral: even the gifts that bring pain can save lives when someone believes in you. Never be ashamed of who you are. Your truth might save the world.